Okay, for this drawing we're starting to build in the value into the piece by laying the pencil on its side and shading in. So you're going to see me doing that. I'm going to kind of just build in the grays so that I can draw with my pencil eraser later. About here I noticed that my thickness from the rim of the glass down to the water is not quite far enough down, but I'm okay with that, I think. If you feel like you want to measure that further down, you can. The water could be more full or not, so that's something that it's not for me that big of a deal. So I'm leaving it. And then right now I'm going ahead and putting in the shading in the background so that I'll be able to erase in the highlights. And it's constant adjustment. So I'm seeing also that the bottom line needs to move a little bit. So right here I'm adjusting that. Now that is something I want to change because the bottom edge of that glass has some shading on it that I feel is important to like the structure of the glass. So I went ahead and fixed that and adjusted it. And then I'm still building that gray back into the background and starting to put in some of that shading that I'm seeing. Just in some spots, I'm looking and noticing where there are some darker values, just building it along slowly. And then letting it fade out. I don't want to just outline everything. We're trying to not outline, but just to build in a value. Finding that there's a highlight right here, so I'm going to put a little shading in so that later on when I use my pencil, I'll be able to put that highlight around that shading. And then I'm working on the rim of the edge of the water. So it looks like a ripple effect. I'm trying to look at how things are relating to each other. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a gray tone shading in here. And then later on, I'm going to be erasing the highlights in. So that for the next design, I'm going to do that. Right now I'm doing, I'm creating a blending stump by folding a paper towel. And you can use your finger, I guess. The only thing is, if you do that, sometimes the oils from your hands leave little pockets of darkness. And so I usually try to use either a tissue or a paper towel and kind of bend it so that my finger can kind of rub the blending back in. And about this time, I'm kind of noticing, I'm looking over at my picture, and I started noticing that the background needs to be one more step of gray, at least. So I'm going to go ahead and blend this, and then I'm going to go back in with my pencil and build up that shade of gray again. It's constant adjustment. Everything is constant adjustment as I go. And there's going to be things that don't go right, and then you adjust. And it's just like life. Things don't go right, and you adjust. Sports is like that too. I'm going to build up that gray tone in the back and then blend it out with my stump. And then the next video, I'm going to be putting in a lot more of the highlights into the water of the glass and then the edges of the glass. So I want to make sure that background is blended and ready for erasing. If I need to erase in highlights, they look a little bit more realistic if you erase them back in. So you're going to see that I'll start to erase here, and for the next video we'll start building up the highlights in the water.